that they can use to help make their life a fulfilling and joyful one here while exploring and mining and accumulating and culminating along their spiritual path. For anyone who's new and this is your first time tuning in, I am an intuitive reader. I'm a spiritual coach. I'm an energy healer. I don't practice distance healing. I am capable. I prefer to do hands-on energy healing as I am more powerful that way. And on my show, you will find many guests. There will be evenings where I will provide free readings. I have reoccurring guests, new guests, offering different types of information and advice and sharing their path so that you can connect and maybe learn more about yours or what to expect or just feel like you're not alone. This is a safe place for everyone. So you can pop over to Spreaker.com if you're already there listening live and click on the chat bubble there and ask your questions there, answer them, answer your own questions. That would be good too. If you can ask a question and answer them, I'll share them with everyone live as well. But if you have any questions, please pop. Also, tonight, my topic is men and spirituality. And I have a guest that I met in person, I don't know, about 9 months ago or so at a sound bath I was invited to by a friend, and he happened to be there. His name is Vinoth Ramanathan, and he is very much working towards his spiritual path, and we've kept in touch since then, and he is doing some interesting things in his world to try to help men become more comfortable and open with their spiritual journeys. And we will chat a little bit about that. Vinoth was born and raised in India. He moved to Canada in 2006 and has been on a spiritual journey off and on since about his grade 10 year. And then he really started to delve deep into it in 2016. He's a Reiki practitioner. He has level 1 and level 2 Reiki. He's an angel card reader. And he's working towards becoming a Sivananda yoga teacher. He also has a history and a background in pranic healing, which don't know too much about. So I guess I'm going to learn something tonight too, which is great. So I'm just not going to waste any more time, and I'm going to welcome Vinoth to the show. So welcome, Vinoth. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
I apologize for all the technical things that have been going on, but Mercury still is a little bit retrograde, so we'll blame it on that.
For sure. Thank you.
Just so everyone knows, my producer's yelling in the back. Thanks for not blaming it on me. But we don't get along very well either, so I'll blame it on Mercury. Yes, it's moving forward in its shadow period, but it's still in shadow period, so it's still part of retrograde. Whether or not I believe in shadow period is a whole nother story. When it's convenient for me, I believe in the shadow period, and when it's not, I don't. So it is a woman's prerogative to change her mind. So, that works for me too. So, if anyone is looking to contact Vinoth, I'm going to pop his information in the chat down below so it can be accessed at any time during the live video or the replay. He can be reached at Vinoth, so Vinoth 84 at yahoo.com. Is that correct, Vinoth? Just so we get it right?
It's Vinoth _84.
Okay. So it's Vinoth. So it's Vinoth _84 at yahoo.com. Just if anyone finds the need to reach out and connect with him, they found his information was interesting, or maybe just make a new friend. That is how you can contact him. And so, Vinoth, can you tell the listeners a little bit about your spiritual journey and how it began for you. What prompted you to delve back in last year and really make a go of this?
As I told you, I just kind of on and off from grade 10, but then like last year, I always like find like the spiritual journey kind of happens when you have like a really big thing happens in your life,
Right.
like a big event. Because like last year I went through a divorce, and then at that time, I kind of want to make some change. And I mean, how it started was I was like talking to some counselors and seeing what I can do or what I need to do. Then it came up, okay, I
Right.
need to make more new friends, and then like how to make new friends just to go do what you like. Then I was kind of thinking, okay, what I do like to do. Then it came back, okay, I like to do like this. I did go to like Reiki classes or like yoga classes in India. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I should start doing that again. So it would
Right.
be a good time to spend more time on me, because that's kind of the first year I would say like I was like more like alone by myself, because I was in a relationship or always with people or something like that. So never really had like a self reflection time. So when I
Right.
had chance, then I really like it. Really like kind of got evolved, because like it just kind of you go start doing one thing, and then you're kind of more attracted, right? Then you go more and more. Like that's how it started.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost, for a lack of a better term, it gets to be a little bit of an addiction because when you start to fill your spirit, you start to find more joy there, right? So you seek out
Mhm.
more and more of it.
Yeah, like more you want to. The other thing is I want to make more new friends, and then like it's kind of nice to have people who understand like what you talk about.
Yes, exactly. So were
Yeah.
you finding that you had noticed that a lot of your relationships were connecting on a superficial level, that they weren't feeding a deeper side of yourself, so you were looking to make more friendships that had deeper connection?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, that's how it started more, because like more it was kind of like just kind of come and go, but never really like a rich communication or more like deeper things. Like, when it gets deeper into it, right, then it doesn't really
Yeah.
last longer.
Yeah, well, absolutely, right? They last longer and they're just more fulfilling and they feel like they're worth your investment of your time and energy.
For sure.
Did you find that you did you have a realization that you were connecting with people just about anything and that you weren't actually speaking with them about things that you loved?
No, I was able to feel that. I mean, I did feel. I mean, whoever I connected, because by the time like when I got into spirituality, most of
Right.
my who I connected to, they're all like they kind of had some kind of background in like energy healing or some kind of spiritual
Right.
practices. So I was able to really connect with them, and it really did bring me more joy that way.
Right. But prior to that, like
Prior
did
to that,
you go ahead?
yeah, no, I don't think so. It was kind of more like not really deep. It's just more like superficial, like more kind of top thing, like more like not in depth relationships. No.
Right. So they weren't really feeding your spirit. They were just there.
Yeah, for sure. More like
Okay.
physical, not really like emotional or spiritual level. No.
Exactly, exactly. So, can you tell me what the hardest thing you encountered? What was the hardest thing for you, after going through the divorce and realizing that you needed to change some patterns and make some changes to your life? What was the hardest thing for you? Was it, was it, for example, maybe really getting in touch with your emotions and actually listening to them and finding out why they were what they were, surfacing the way they were? Was it expressing your needs to others? What was the most difficult part of all of it?
Like I would say the most difficult part, I kind of what I personally felt when
Mm-hmm.
I got a spiritual thing, it more like the like I mean more I would say that even though I'm like a male, right? The feminine side of me started more like expressing outside.
Right.
Like the emotions which I have like suppressed for like a really long time, like or even
Right.
like crying or something like that. I would like had never really cried before, but it felt like after like a spiritual journey, I would like just if I felt like crying, I would just cry and just let it go.
Right.
That was the really hardest thing, like releasing all the emotions, like in a spiritual journey. It's kind of like almost like kind of like a detoxification, right? I mean, you'll get the good stuff, but to get there, you need to get all the old stuff out.
Exactly.
So when you
It's
do,
almost like an energetic cleanse, right? You need to let the old stuff go so you can fill that space with better feel good energy.
for sure, that one, and then especially if people, if around you, right, if they're friends, if they're in a spiritual journey, or if they have like a spiritual background, then they kind of understand you. It's like more like it's just an energy, like feminine and like masculine. But when you're
Right.
like just like normal people, for them, you don't really look like a normal person to them.
Yes, exactly. I understand completely what you're saying. So I guess grounding was an issue for you then. You probably had to learn a little bit about grounding. Can you speak about that out there? And can you speak on it from a men's perspective, Venus? Like what challenges you faced as a male and that you started to realize was an issue for males out there when it comes to being grounded and balanced?
Like I think it's more like the view of the society, right? Being masculine
Yes.
means being like more kind of doing stuff, like more like being like a warrior kind of thing, but not like kind of letting the soft side like come out, kind of expose it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think every man has that soft side to them, right? I mean, if you look at a man, right? Like let's say like I mean, I feel like for example, like a dad and a daughter, right? It's like a beautiful relationship. There's like nothing really like masculine there. It's like super feminine, like super caring. It's that's kind of like nature of men, right? I mean, everybody has the energy, but like in reality, like not very many people like really expose that out.
Yeah, because society teaches men that, that they're not supposed to cry and they're not supposed to talk about feelings because feelings are messy and all of those sorts of things. Like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I mean, I know, like for example, for men, right? I mean, I do know men who do a lot of stuff what I do, but I'm
Yep.
like really open about talking it. But for example, like let's say, like I go buy some crystals, and I know
Yeah.
like a person who I buy crystals from, it always women there, and then like the lady who sells it, she tells me there are like men who get crystals, but they call her, they make appointments with her, just they go secretly and then buy it.
Yes.
Don't even tell other people because they think it's more like feminine, it's more like girly to keep crystals with them or buy crystals.
They're afraid of the judgment that society projects on them, and I see that that's a huge struggle with men. In what the business that I do, I've seen that my clientele
Hmm.
um, in men in the masculine area has started to slowly increase. And a lot of them happen to be husbands of wives that I've been working with. They've seen the difference and the changes in their wives. And,
Yeah.
they've secretly reached out to me, or their wife has, suggested, why don't you just give Kendra a call or whatever? And they'll phone me and say, like, I want whatever you're doing with my wife. Well, I'm not doing anything with her. I'm just, teaching her some tools, how to really delve deep inside of herself and honor who she is. That's it. Okay, well, I'll take some of that, and they start to work on sessions with me, and their lives just start to change phenomenally, and they start to be more comfortable with who they truly are as opposed to the charade that society tries to impose upon them.
Yeah, like for sure. I think I really feel like in a spiritual journey, what's the hardest thing is it actually will like make you to get your mask out from you. And
Mm-hmm.
for sometimes like as men, we're not really used to that emotions, like used to that like flowing through us. So sometimes I think the hardest part is like when it kind of comes through you, it's very hard. You really don't know how to handle that.
And I think some of it is painful too, because men are supposed to be big and strong and nothing's supposed to hurt them, right? So I think over the years, um, from my experience with working with men, they stuff those painful things and never actually heal them. And then when they all start to come up at once, it becomes really painful to release and let go.
Yeah, for sure.
So then they continue to stuff, right?
Very.
So Or it takes a long time for them to really get to that point where they're comfortable in themselves, because they can only let a little bit come out at a time, because it's so painful for them to let go of some of that hurt, that they just take their time, which is fine. There is no judgment on how long it takes you to heal at all. As long as you're moving forward, source or the universe, applauds and rewards all of that.
Yeah.
So what are some things you do to keep grounded and balanced?
For me to keep grounded, I mean, I really did find like yoga does help me to be grounded.
Okay.
And then I do like actually, I burn some like a lot of like, I mean, for me, I find Palo Santo to be really grounding. So sometimes I wake up in the morning, just burn some charcoal and put some like Palo Santo and just sit with that.
Oh, Palo Santo?
Yeah, I burn that. And
I love Palo Santo. I preach about it to everyone on my show all the time.
okay, that's good. Yeah, I will like do like nothing. Maybe I mean just sit like just burn some charcoal, put some Palo Santo like whatever, like maybe like chips or whatever, and just burn it and sit in there for a few seconds. And as you talk like sound, I mean I do like different ways. Like I mean I really do connect with sound too. And I do have a drum. Sometimes I do like drum to get connected and grounded.
Right.
And the other thing I do, sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Oh, the other thing I do is like I actually, if it's nice weather, I kind of walk barefoot out in the ground. It feels me grounded.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's something that I've talked about a lot on my previous shows, is nature is extremely healing. So for anyone out there, who is listening to Vinoth, he is reiterating a lot of the stuff that I've shared in previous shows, that work for him, that help him. And this is from a male perspective. So, he's doing a lot of the things I talk about. And just because I'm a woman doesn't mean only women can do it. So, you heard it out of his own mouth, and I didn't have to pull it out of him. He gave the information, so please listen to him. Can you talk a little bit about your sound sacred drumming, Vinoth? It's so interesting to me. I've seen you, you've had some videos on Facebook that I popped in and watched before too. It just chat a little bit about that. Let people know what that's all about.
Yeah, like I kind of like just started on Facebook like last year. Like a lot of drums, like a lot of like drum circles and stuff like started popping up in my Facebook. Just my friends were doing classes or they're going to classes or something like that. So it popped up like that, and then like so it kind of interested me to learn more about it. And then like there's a lady in like Saskatoon. Her name is Amanda, and I met her, and she was selling a drum. So that's how I got my first drum. And then like then I found out, like then I started like just to use it. I mean, I didn't really have any experience or anything like that. Just I started drumming it. Then I started like researching something more about Facebook and learning about drums. It seems in a native culture or in most cultures too, it's more sacred. Then like I was in like a Regina Beach one day, and it's a Wilkie Wellness. There is a center in Regina, and they come out to Regina Beach, and they had some drums, and I felt like kind of called to go touch it and feel it, because the drum before I had it, I was using like a drum, like a stick to like beat it, but then somehow I felt I want to have my hands play the drum, not just some other like stick playing the drum.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking for a different one, and then I felt called to go speak to that lady in there, and then like she told like, okay, like if you want, I can custom paint it for you.
Right.
And then I talked to her, and then I told what I wanted in my drum. So I told like I want like all like 5 like nature elements in there. So I want like water, air, like the fire and stuff. So I told, okay, I want like kind of like ocean, and I want like some like a sun in there. Then I want like a horse, because I kind of felt like horse is more like spirit animal.
Right.
And then I said I want a bird as well, but then it kind of like really beautifully came like, and then the lady told like she didn't draw for a while. She just had a sketch on the pencil, and then when the time came for me to go get it, she's just that lady who does painting. She kind of connects intuitively.
Right.
So she connected to me, and then like she kind of felt what's good for me, and then she drew that on the drum. So it was like there was like an ocean, then the sun, and it had like a spirit horse, and then instead of a bird, she felt like raven is more like kind of felt right for me.
Right.
So she had a raven, and she had all moon cycles.
Oh, very interesting.
That's how I got that drum. And then like the sound bath, I mean, just like since I was kind of my spiritual journey, kind of exploring different stuffs, then I found like the lady who did the sound bath here. She was offering like a spiritual like a wellness expos out of her house in Regina Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there for like one day, like for her expo, and then that's when I really heard the sound for the first time. It was beautiful because like that lady is fully like she's more like a shaman.
Yeah, that's the woman. That's the one that I was at, right? Right, Vina?
Yeah, you were. So what happened, right? I felt really called for her, and then I went and saw her. And even before even like I saw her, somehow I felt like I need to have this in Yorkton. That's how I felt
Yeah.
it. I really don't know why I felt it. I just kind of felt it. Like, yeah, you just need to come here. And she was like, dude, you don't even know me, and you have not even heard me. But you feel like it. I said, yeah, I just want you to be here. And then
my guides are saying you need to come here, so just come.
yeah, like it's kind of really like it's a little bit thing too. Like, and then she told, okay, we'll like put a thing in, and she said like if you have this much sold out, I will come.
Right.
And then like I really posted in Facebook and stuff. Like I didn't really have any response to it, but somehow I found it's gonna be good. Then I told her, you just come here. If nobody shows up, I'll just pay for you.
Yeah.
That's
we had a really great turnout, didn't we?
We did, because like your friend Nikki, she almost bought 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
So
but
I
still,
didn't.
there was other people there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just kind of like did some like just I didn't really do anything. Just put in Facebook, and I just put in like I just put in a paper too, but I don't really have a response for that. But I just put in paper and just put in like work, and people showed up, and it turned out to be beautiful. And then from that, I'm being like more deeper onto drums.
Yes.
Then I found out drum is not even just like doing this; it actually could like heal more. So then I felt called whenever there is like a chaos, or I think that's kind of the spirit, the ancient one.
Right.
When there is some kind of chaos or whatever, people go and drum for healing.
Right. Yes. And that's awesome. And, for anyone out there listening, the sound bath that Vinoth put on that he had the woman come out to do that I attended was one of the best experiences of my life. It was probably second to or tied for first, actually, with one of the healing techniques that I practice, that I have done on myself as well, to get me into a relaxed state where I was just in a state of bliss, where nothing was bothering me and I was so completely relaxed. And it was one of the most beautiful things. So if anyone ever has the chance to experience or check out a sound bath, please invest in yourself. You will not regret it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and to add to this, like if especially like there are a lot of like gong baths happening right now as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even that, if anyone's looking, search gong bath, sound bath, gong bath, anything like that, and go check one out. It'll be worth your while. I promise you won't regret it. So with that being said, now you mentioned that you had started practicing pranic healing back when you were a teenager in your high school days. Mm-hmm. Can you explain that for me? It's just to share with what it is and let the healers, the listeners and the healers, all the people out there know a little bit about it. I've never heard of it before. It's interesting to me.
Pranic healing, I took this course when I was in grade 12. I took it in India.
Mm-hmm.
And this course, it seems it's actually from a master called Master Karasui from Philippines, but he put it in. And pranic healing, like pranic means like the breath. So they kind of say it's using your breath as an energy to heal. It's like a no-touch healing.
Right.
So it's almost kind of similar to Reiki, but it just goes basically with the chakras. Water is not like aligned. We firstly cleanse that chakras.
Right.
And once we cleanse it, what we do is we actually have like a bowl with like a salt water.
Right.
So we'll have like just a bowl, and we'll have like put like a lot of like sea salt into it. So when we cleanse it, and like actually energetically, we like imagine that the negative stuff, we actually put that into like the bowl, the salt water bowl.
Okay.
That way we cleanse the body first, whatever that's not working, whatever chakras, whatever. And then once it's cleansed, and then like we same like a Reiki, we actually pass like good energy. So first we cleanse it, and then we do energy, and then we kind of fill up with the positive energy. And as a pranic healer, how they keep up is like they do a special meditation called twin heart meditation.
Okay.
So the twin heart meditation is a meditation like the twin heart. They call it twin heart. It's the crown chakra and the heart chakra.
Right.
So what they do is like in that meditation, you kind of it's a self meditation. So you feel like you kind of cleanse your crown chakra and heart chakra, and then you fill that crown chakra and heart chakra with just like love, like more like energy, like more like a divine energy.
Okay.
And then once you fill up, and then you actually imagine like a whole earth in front of you as a small ball, and you actually bless the whole earth, and you kind of bless the earth through your hands with the crown chakra and heart chakra, and you just put the divine love energy to it, and that's how you got the energy. So it's more like a practice, and then with that you use that healing to heal people.
Wow, that seems really interesting. I'm going to have to do some research on that. I feel really drawn to that. So thank you for sharing that with us. I will post the name of it on my Facebook page for all the listeners if anyone's interested in doing some research or looking into it more, or even contacting Venus for more information about that after the show. It's time for our halftime break here. So when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little bit about a brotherhood circle that Venus is trying to create online just for men. So it's a safe place to talk about their spiritual journeys, where they can speak about things that they're not comfortable speaking out about. So any of those men who are, feeling the need to purchase crystals and explore other options and, keep it to themselves, this might be something that you'd be interested in. So we will talk a little bit about that, and we will catch everyone on the other side of the break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back here. We are talking on the Surprise Your Spirit show on this fabulous Thursday evening with Venus about men and spirituality, and we're having a male's perspective on the spiritual journey and getting some insight from men. So if there are any men out there who, have listened to me and maybe a little bit skeptical of things that I say, thinking that maybe I only connect, to the women's side of, or the feminine side of the spiritual journey. He's sharing the masculine side, and just so that everyone can hear, and you will actually see that he's talked a lot about the same sorts of tools and techniques that I've talked about. And just so everyone is aware, we all need to know that we all have masculine and feminine energies present within inside ourselves. And in order to live a completely filling life, keeping those masculine and feminine energies balanced are an important key to living a happy life. So just before we went on break, I had mentioned that Vinoth was going to speak about a brotherhood circle that he was going to create online for males, and I'm just actually going to hand the ball over to him here so he can speak about it, because he's just mentioned it and I've just become aware of it a couple weeks ago, or maybe a last week and a half, I can't remember. And I'm going to let him share, because he hasn't shared too much about me, but just the name of it makes my heart sing. And I think I already have a list of people for him. So go ahead, Vinoth, take the floor away. Talk about this. Talk about your vision for it, why you wanted to create it.
For sure. For me, what I felt with women, right, they have like a sisterhood circle in which they feel comfortable, they share. And I really feel like for men, like they really like kind of like hang on to their emotions. It's not that they don't want to express it. They do want to express it, but they're kind of worried and they're kind of suppressed because like they're kind of worried what like society would think or what other people would think. So they kind of like suppress their emotions within themselves. And I kind of find like when people like suppress their emotions and not expressing it, and that could really like lead to like more of like mental health issues and stuff like that. So I felt like a really need for people to have a safe space where they can express it. And I really found, because men really struggle with that. I think women, they seem to have like not a really problem, because even when you look at like mostly in a workplace or outside, you'd always see like a group of like women together, but you would never really see a group of men together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have not really noticed it. Yeah, so I felt like, I mean, I know like men out there, they do want to talk about emotions. Like, let's say, for example, I did went through a divorce like last year. At the time, as a man, I felt like I was kind of left alone. But I know like my ex-wife, when she did go through it, her family was always with her. They would talk to her, or she had friends with them or whatever. But I feel like as a man, you're being told, okay, you need to be tough enough. You just need to be tough. You can't really talk about it. And like, I felt it would be nice to have like some inputs, or like, I'm sure like different people have different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good to share.
Yes, absolutely. So can you tell the listeners out there how, have you started this, Vinoth? Like, is it up and running? Where can they find you?
It's not up and running. This is like my plan. So they can email me if they're interested. And I actually plan to have this as like a secret group, like not even a closed group. So only like friends can like, I can add them.
Right.
So that they feel like more safer to kind of like express themselves.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, if they don't even feel comfortable like letting their like real name out or something like that, that's fine too. I just want men out there to kind of express and talk about things which they would think, oh, it's more feminine thing to do. Or for example, like let's say, because I remember one time, like few months, a few years ago, I was having a coffee with my friend, and we talked about like an Epsom salt bath or something like that, and then he was like looking at me like different, and then after a few days, he came to me and said, you know what, I just tried that, it's so relaxing, it's so good. But then he told, like, I would never ever tell this to other male.
And I'm not laughing at him. I really get that. I know a lot of men who enjoy some of those things that are considered or labeled as feminine things to do in society, and they wouldn't tell their friends that they engage in them because society shames them, and there is no shame in doing anything that you enjoy, period. And so that's why I'm so drawn to this wonderful vision that you have, and if I can help you in any way to start that up, Venus,
Mhm.
and I even think that maybe people at spiritual platforms would probably help us with this, because I think it's so important that if people can talk about it in a safe space, it actually even helps them get more comfortable with who they are, and they don't have
Mhm.
to worry about being a chameleon and being eight different people depending on their setting. You know, they will just get comfortable and they know they have support somewhere, and that really nurtures their soul and allows them to be themselves everywhere they go.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's my whole plan of this like circle. Because I feel like women more like they talk about like self-care and stuff like that.
Yes,
But I think like men, they don't need self-care to like they can't just be caring for others all the time. They will need time for themselves. They need to like nourish their soul and like their body as well.
right,
And they
exactly.
really don't know what to talk or who to talk or whatever. So I felt it'd be nice to like have a circle in which they can openly talk about things, or even like crystals, like what do you use, or even
Yeah,
I have like I mean since I'm a spiritual path, most of my friends are women, and then when I tell about them about yoga and stuff, they say it's so nice to see a man talking about yoga.
yeah.
But in reality, when yoga even started like few years, I mean thousands of years ago, it was all only male. Like no women really even did yoga when it started.
Exactly. And that's really interesting how it's gotten lost in translation over the generations.
Yeah, like it started as a male thing. I mean, women was like, I mean, at the time it was totally opposite. Like no women really came out and did yoga. Like even they call it yogis. That's how it started, right? They were in like
Right.
forest and stuff like that, or even like as some call it the Adi yogi and stuff like that. Like it just like
Exactly.
male.
Exactly. So just can you tell the listeners again, Venus, how they can contact you if they'd like to be a part of this, vision that you have?
They can email me and then I can send them details. Like I plan to have this as like a Facebook group.
Okay.
And then like in there we'll kind of post updates and then maybe we can have like a Zomato like group calls, anything like that.
Okay.
That's kind of my
Awesome.
plan. So they can email me and like there are Facebook ID or something like that, and I can add them to the group once I start it.
Okay. Cool. So, just for everyone out there, if you would like to join Venus Spiritual Brotherhood Circle, please contact him at VINOTH _ 84 at yahoo.com. It's in the chat room here. So it will be listed there with the replay of the show for as long as you like. You can come back and reference it as well. I will post it on my Facebook page of Surprise Your Spirit with the replay right in the title there, so you know how to get a hold of him if you are interested in that, or if you even know someone who you think might be interested in, they can contact Venus for more information to make a more informed decision on whether or not it's something they'd like to participate in or take part of. And so I would highly recommend any men out there who, need that safe space to be able to speak freely about things going on in their life without judgment. This knowing Venus and the gentle soul that he is, this is the place for you. So Venus was telling me on the break actually that he is going to be attending in June a Spirit Junkie Mastermind live class. Can you tell me about that, Venus? It sounds so interesting.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like in when you start a spiritual journey, right? It's like a journey. You're always like learning something new, or you always want to like upkeep with your practices, and you had to always like evolve to keep up with yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
And it really kind of helps like to find your purpose and stuff like that. I think that's one of the struggle when people come to spiritual journey. They really don't know what they want to do.
Right.
They kind of lack direction and stuff like that. So I kind
Interesting.
of yeah, I looked at different options. And this class is actually done by Gabrielle Bernstein.
Oh, she's like one of my most favorite authors. I tell all my clients, read her book, read her book. And then they email me and tell me that was the best book. I'm starting to think that maybe she needs to give me a cut of her earnings just because I recommend her book all the time.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's how it started. So and through that, this the book you mentioned, The Universe Has Been Back. I mean, I kind of
Yes.
knew Gabrielle for a little bit. I didn't really know about her other books, but when this book came before The Universe Has Been Back, then I started to be in her group, and I met really I met so many friends through that book club.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there's a class they do it, and then that's how I found out about that class. It seems it's a class more to find your purpose kind of thing. So you do like different
Yes.
meditation classes and stuff like that, and really to kind of to connect to who you are. So
Right.
you can kind of show the world who you are and really kind of express it and just live your purpose.
That sounds so fabulous. Where are you taking this class?
This is actually happening in New York.
Even better. Have you been to New York before?
No, this is my first time, and I had no plans to go there. But then, this
Oh
class.
my goodness. So you're getting the full experience. You're going to have such a fabulous time.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous, and jealousy is a bad energy, but this is a good jealous.
No, I mean, I knew about her through one of her another author, because when it really went through the doors, one of the book really did kind of resonate with me at that time. It's a
Right.
book called Adventures to Your Soul.
Yeah,
It's by Shannon Kaiser,
right.
and her mentor was Gary Bernstein. So that's how I knew it.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. How many days is this class?
And this is actually 3 days. It's like a Friday evening and Saturday and Sunday. So it's like a weekend class.
Well, I think you're going to have a fabulous time.
Thank
So just before I let you go, Venus, and I kind of wrap up the show. I know the show won't be a full hour for everyone, but we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, and I have to pick up my little man from his night programming. So I'm not going to apologize because I believe in synchronicity and everything happens for a reason. So we will just, go from there. Is there anything else that you would like to leave with the guests tonight, Venus, before, if there's one piece of wisdom that you could share with them before I let you off the hook for the evening here, what would that be?
I would say in my spiritual journey, one thing I really learned it, and I really feel one thing, very important thing, is to just be in the present, be in the moment.
And that's a very hard thing to master.
It is very hard, but that's the essence of every single thing.
Exactly, because we're never, ever guaranteed
No,
tomorrow
no,
or 5 minutes from now. We're not
if,
guaranteed that.
no. If people did master that, being in a moment, being present, and I really think there'll be no need for healers or people like that. But then, it's almost impossible. It's a really lifelong journey to get to there.
Well, isn't that the honest truth right out of your mouth right there? We would not need healers if everyone remembered to stay present in every moment. How joyful the world would be, with no anxiety or worries about tomorrow or what next week or next year brings or this and that and blah, blah, blah. And just learning to trust in the universe and that it has our back. And learning to see the synchronicities and the signs that the universe shows us to show us that is there every single day. It is holding our hand. It is guiding us and leading the way. And why do we keep pulling our hand away and walking in a different direction? And I just wanted to point out too, Venus, too, when you had said about the drumming, you had said, well, man, it kept showing up on my Facebook page. Well, was that not the universe shoving it in your face saying, hey, look at us, look at me, this is for you, come over here?
For sure. I mean, I never thought of it. I mean, that's one thing I found out. A lot of times you may need something, but you almost feel like you're kind of pulled to some other thing. Because I know I never really played an instrument. I always want to get like a violin and play fiddle. That's what I plan to do
Yes.
it. And then, but
Yes.
I ended up getting a drum, and I'm playing drum right now, and I'm even taking a frame drumming course.
Well, fabulous. And you know what? You needed the drum probably because the vibration of the drum resonates with you, right? And
Oh,
your energy.
for sure. Like sometimes I've felt it like with the drum, like there are times in which I'll take my drum and like drum it. It's kind of
Hmm.
out of the world. Like you're not even just drumming. You're drumming. You're dancing. Like you just kind of it's almost like ecstasy. Like you're doing that.
You're living in the energy of it.
So you're kind of you're like jumping like really high up and down, whatever the drum is doing.
Yeah. That's so awesome. It's so funny when you said that the universe, there'll be something that you need that you didn't even know you probably needed. I'm going to attribute that to sprinkles. One of my in my own personal life because one a very dear friend that I met on while I was learning about my awareness and, how powerful of a healer I am and actually how in tune with the universe I am and actually really I've known since I was a little girl, but really trying to accept that it's a very huge part of me and not fight it and not try to hide it. Um, a dear friend of mine who is a world like an international world renowned psychic medium, she said to me about 4 years ago,
Mhm.
Kendra, we're getting a radio show. And I'm like, what, Kelly? I don't even talk to people. I'm never having a radio show. Now I have two. So, and it was Sprinkles got me on the show. She said, we'd like to have you. And I was like, why? And she's like, because you're interesting. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know, but okay. And now I live for Thursdays. So,
Yeah, cool.
I didn't know I needed that, but obviously somebody did somewhere higher up than me. And it's been one of the best things in my life. So listening to the universe and what it has to say to you is super important. Just because you never thought you'd do that, it's about trying new things and experiencing new things because you don't know where your joy lies.
No, for sure. No, sometimes
So,
I find it too. Like, I mean, sometimes you don't want to even do something, but maybe that's what you're meant to do, and like you end up doing that, right?
right. And we don't do it because of fear. So facing our fears is the hugest thing. It brings the greatest joy. You know
Mhm.
what? If you're really afraid of something, it's probably because it's something that is going to bring you a great amount of joy to your life. So really start thinking about fear in that way. If you're afraid to try a new experience or try something new and add it into your life and you're that fearful of it, it's probably because the energy is so intoxicating that it's going to bring so much happiness to you that you're fearful you're going to do it wrong instead of learning to be like, wow, I'm so afraid of that. It must have a ton of energy that's going to bring a lot of joy to my life. Maybe if you looked at it from that different perspective, you could totally transform your life just by acting on everything you're afraid of and facing it.
For
So
sure.
you know what, Venus? Thank you so much for joining me. Maybe another year down the road, we can have you back on the show and see how things have progressed for you. Please keep in touch.
For sure.
And it's been such a pleasure getting to know you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. So that's the show for the evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on my show here, Surprise Your Spirit. Um, I want to thank spiritualplatforms.com. Please go there and check out what's there for everyone. If you're trying to grow your spiritual business and you need a hand, please check them out. The prices, they have reasonable rates. The support and the help is fabulous. They are amazing people. There is a family of its own over there for anyone who wants to grow their spiritual business or their spiritual practice. They've been very supportive of me. OTCR Radio, thank you from the bottom of my heart for having me. You can find me on Facebook.com at Surprise Your Spirit. You can find me on YouTube. You can also find me on www.surpriseyourspirit.com. And you can find me in Off the Cuff Easing, writing a monthly article. And there will be a June issue for everyone who knows, and I will have something in there. I do every month except last month because life got away on me. So, and I continue to plan to have stuff in there every month for you guys. This month's article is actually talks about readings and how to identify what is the best way to have a reading. It talks a little bit about that. And just thank you for all the listeners for, taking time out of your life and listening to me and coming to walk on this path with me. And I look forward, I look forward to seeing everyone back here next Thursday. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to OTCR, the radio station that shines and shares its life